bank is closed.
Thomas, a black medical genius, was shopping when he discovered that the bank where he kept his money had gone bankrupt. In the bank was his 7-year medical school tuition savings. It was a huge blow to Thomas, and he was deeply frustrated. Professor Oldcloth, upon hearing about it, brushed it off. "Who says you need to go to medical school to become a doctor?" he said. "You can learn right here." Oldcloth planned to conduct an experiment using a stray dog. He asked Thomas to weigh the dog, but Thomas immediately responded, 18.4 kilograms, requiring 542 milligrams of sedative. This impressed Oldcloth, who had never seen such precise knowledge. Once everything was ready, Oldcloth let Thomas carry out the experiment on his own. Thomas didn't disappoint him. However, when the experiment was finished, Oldcloth became angry. There was an instrument needed to record the entire process, but Oldcloth blamed Thomas for not listening to his instructions and began scolding him. Thomas, however, couldn't recall being asked to set up that machine. This misunderstanding made Thomas even more frustrated, and he decided to quit on the spot, taking off his coat. But as Thomas walked out the door, Oldcloth saw Thomas's notes on the table. The notes documented the entire experiment in detail. Realizing his mistake, Oldcloth hurried outside to apologize sincerely, asking Thomas to return and continue working. Thomas accepted his apology. Later, with their combined efforts, they proved that shock was caused by excessive blood loss, and that the body could no longer compensate, requiring large transfusions of blood and plasma. Once this research was validated, it saved thousands of soldiers during World War II. The professor gained widespread fame. In an era of severe racial discrimination, Thomas was unable to stand with Oldcloth on the podium to share the honor. His wife felt this was unfair, but Thomas said it was Professor Oldcloth who gave him the opportunity to be an assistant to a top surgeon at the country's best medical school. That for him was enough. In the following decades, Thomas and Oldcloth worked together, performing this groundbreaking surgery on over 100 babies who met the criteria. But during this time, Oldcloth was diagnosed with cancer, his health deteriorating rapidly. He eventually passed away peacefully in his sleep. Hopkins Medical School lowered its flag in his memory. When Thomas heard the news, he was devastated. His mentor was gone, and now he was left alone to continue their unfinished research. Because of his ongoing contributions to medical research, as well as his impact on training future doctors, Thomas finally received the recognition he deserved. In 1976, Hopkins Medical School awarded him an honorary doctorate and created a giant portrait of him to hang in the corridor. He was the first black person in history to receive such an honor. Thus the movie Miracle comes to an end. This film is based on a true story.